Comes to security, clearly something went wrong yesterday at that rally. Today, there are so many questions still unanswered about exactly how this could happen. So joining us to help us get a better understanding of the situation and what we will learn going forward from a law enforcement perspective is retired Chief Deputy Matthew Fogg of the U.S. Marshal Service. Thank you, sir, for taking the time to be with us today. Less than 24 hours after this has happened, when someone asks you how this could happen yesterday, at this point, where does your mind go?
Well, it would be all the pre-ops, everything that we look at on these type of security details, setting up in advance, going out, looking at the location. A lot of times when something occurs, it's really a simple thing that we're so caught up with all of the intricate details a lot of times that we'll miss something small. Now, that's not supposed to happen because we're supposed to have briefings on top of briefings, people looking over the other briefing, what other people looked at. So we're supposed to cover those areas. When I hear that a man was able to just simply go to a rooftop, others had seen him, and he's on this rooftop, those are the first places we look when we're doing our pre-ops and trying to determine all the areas where if there was somebody that was a shooter, where they could hide or be at, especially within a 100 to 200 yard range. And so those are the questions that are being asked. How in the world did he get in that location and nobody spotted him or nobody knew that he was there?
And something that was really striking that we saw later last night was an interview with a witness that the BBC actually did. He said that they saw the shooter on the roof crawling with the gun, and they tried to alert law enforcement. Obviously, that's going to be looked into more. But will you talk about, you know, the difficulties that law enforcement is facing in a crowded situation where there's possibly thousands of people and maybe somebody's yelling, you know, hey, look at this, but it's hard for law enforcement to really handle these fluid situations when there's so many people and it's so loud. Will you talk about, you know, how that chain of command works and how law enforcement handles that and gets those tips from the crowd in situations like this typically?
Right. Well, I've worked United Nations details, foreign dignitaries coming into the country, high-profile people, done a lot of security operations. Yes, these things, that's why we do what we do. We're the experts at it. We know we look at past events, everything that's happened from shootings from Ronald Reagan all the way back. And we look at all of the mistakes that was made, and then we get all of that into a briefing and we put it all together. And usually we cover all the areas. But again, when something like this happens, and you know, I guess, you know, when you're talking about the numbers of people in a crowd, it is very difficult. But when you got somebody that gets on a rooftop, that should have been, you know, that's 101 security. You know, we're checking all rooftops, any areas around. So when I hear that this man was crawling around and others saw him, and we didn't have somebody in security that was out there in the, you know, in the distant perimeter, looking and watching with binoculars. And we have people that are, you know, scoping the whole area out. So it is difficult to understand how did that happen? Because in the operations that I've been on, we make sure that all those areas are covered. Any place where we think somebody can get a straight-in shot on the target, we make certain that we've covered those areas. So I'm sure they're going to have briefings on top of briefings, trying to figure out who dropped the ball on the security, how this man got up there, and then the type of weapon he was using. The fact that this man, it sounds like it was an AR, they said AR-15, but that's probably a 223 round, a high-velocity round that's, when you fire that into a crowd, that thing can bounce and go through people like a knife going through butter. So the reality of it is a very high velocity round. So the guy knew what he was doing. He knew exactly what he was doing. And from that distance, that's the perfect distance if you want to take a shot.
Yeah, there are a lot of very difficult questions that will be asked for law enforcement going forward from members of Congress. And as we hear the president calling for an independent investigation as well, retired U.S. Marshal Matthew Fogg, thank you for your time.
Thank you.